Welcome to the Ian and Taryn Podcast.
Online.
So welcome to the Ian and Taryn Podcast. Taryn's not here. It's just Ian. We're joined by Brody Shemansky at Bad Broski on IG. I'll put it down here. Welcome, Brody.
Hi there.
How's your day going so far?
It's good, man. Just doing a little work here and there and running around doing some errands.
Oh, definitely. When you say work, what kind of work are you doing?
So this morning I had some clients, and then we did some promotional stuff for our training company, and then promotional stuff for a new CBD line that we just released called Hara Flow.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I was going to mention that you're the CEO.
Yes.
So very cool. And it's nice how fitness is kind of intertwining with the CBD now. You know, it's like, I don't know, I feel like before it was kind of like, oh, that's weed, you know, that can't be fitness or healthy. But finally the tide has kind of turned on that.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear. I just had my buddy Dave Hall on. He's a gym owner, has a CBD line as well. So it's nice to hear like, oh, I care about fitness, I care about my health, but this is very beneficial, you know?
It is. It's mostly education, I think, with the connotation that it can come from cannabis, which is fine, right? But it's going to have THC in it. But then if it comes from hemp, it won't have THC in it.
Yep.
And also, there's massive benefits to CBD itself that are kind of a little bit opposite to the THC in those cannabinoids.
Oh, definitely. And your product has no THC?
It does. No THC, and
Okay.
It's 99.8% CBD yield.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's really good. Because my buddy Dave Hall, he's actually in Alabama doing the CBD thing. So I was like, man, how do you deal with that? And he was saying the same thing as you. It's 0% THC, so you can sell it like any vitamin or whatever.
Yes. Legal in all states as long as it has under 0.03% THC.
Oh, perfect. And benefits are like inflammation reduction, anxiety, things like that.
Yeah, so there's a multitude of benefits, but it's an antibiotic. It reduces inflammation. It helps hormone regulation. It's actually good for regulating testosterone in men.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's nice. And it's a multitude of benefits. It really does well for like the athletes on the inflammation side and the recovery side. So it also will help you help your recovery. It shortens the duration at which you'll recover.
Oh, definitely. I don't know if you're into like the MMA side of things, but Nate Diaz, famously vaping the CBD after the fight with Conor. I think that really helped things.
Yeah.
Like he might not be the best spokesperson for it, but I think it did help get the word out at least.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Definitely. So I was kind of like being a private investigator on your life because I'm like, okay, what is this guy up to? Going through your Instagram. So you were doing gymnastics in college.
Yes, I did. I was a gymnast for the University of Iowa.
Jeez, and they called you Golden Boy?
They did.
God. I'm like, man, and your body, like, I just started, bodybuilding, if you can even say that, but your body back then was 10 times better than what I got now. So that's insane.
I've done a lot of work over the years, but I was really active. And
that's evident.
Yeah.
Wow. So I don't know if you're really like I guess you're public with your girlfriend.
Yes.
Do you say her name? Because I found her name, but
her name is Sara Drake.
Okay.
We call her Drizzy. Pretty much everyone calls her Drizzy.
Oh, very cool. You guys are like a power couple.
Yeah, we do pretty much everything together.
Yeah, it's super cool. So are all the mirrors in your house always occupied?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
They seem to be.
Yeah. And at first when I was going through your Instagram, I'm like, why do they not have a YouTube channel? But then I found it, and maybe you guys like weren't so into it or something.
Well, so we started it a while back, but it's just a lot of work to edit and to do all those things.
Oh, I
We
know.
really should, and we want to get back to doing it.
Yeah.
Just like with our lives and like what we have going on, we don't have much time to do the editing side of YouTube.
That's the hardest part. And even just like, honestly, the upload time, can take a while.
Yeah, it takes.
But you guys are so good. Like, I like the content, like, and I was going to mention Bradley Martin to you, but I saw, like, back in the day you met him, so you know about what he does. So I'm like, you guys would be a perfect fit for that whole lane because you're a couple. It's not just like, look at this, like, meathead guy on bodybuilding. It's like the girl aspect as well. You guys get along. You're both articulate. I think there's a perfect space for you guys there.
Yeah.
But it's hard when you're getting like no views. Like, let me dedicate my life to this. It's hard.
It is. It's hard. So yeah, that was mostly for us. Like, I think when we started the channel initially, we got some decent views because I had done like a video with another friend of mine who has a large following, and he shouted out our channel originally. So we got a little bit of views there off the bat. But it was really just the time it takes to create the video itself and then edit it, and like our
100%.
schedules are so when we slow down a little bit with some of these things that we're doing, like, or when we are provided with more time, then we will most definitely pick that up because it is something we want to do. It's a good way to reach the masses. It's a good way to educate people and like show people different schools of thought, and I don't know, that's like pretty much what we're about is
No, I was liking it. I watched all the videos, and I liked how they were relatively short, but they showed most of the workout. Not like, here's one set, boom, I'm on to the next. It's like, I'm really grinding this out. Like, here's what it looks like. I'm dead at the end, Yeah. And when you would help Sara, like, take some plates off for her to go down and wait and continue, I'm like, this is amazing, like, it's nice to see that.
Yeah.
Because Taryn's kind of into it, but she's more like, a little cardio here. And I'm like, you got to do the strength too. And she's like, I don't know, I'm scared. And it's like, it's nice to see you guys are like both on the same level. Supplements and all that stuff, kind of like, this is what I take, this is what I take. It's very cool to watch.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. On another note, how was Coachella?
It was fun, man. It was so fun. But it was busy the second day, the Saturday. It was too busy for me.
Really?
I think it was the busiest it's been on weekend one that Saturday. And I was almost ready to come home on Sunday. But we went with a friend of ours, and she wanted to stay. So I was like, all right, we'll stay. I'm glad we did because Sunday was probably our favorite day. Sunday
really?
Was it was really chill. Some great artists, and then it was much less crowded, so it felt like nicer to walk around. And
oh, nice. Yeah, and you've been doing it a couple years now?
So Coachella I've never done before, but I have done EDC a few times now.
Oh, okay. Which EDC did you go to?
We've done EDC Vegas twice. I think it was 2014 and 2015.
Yeah, because the last time I went was at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, and it was insane.
Yeah.
When I heard it was going to Vegas, I was like, I don't know if I want to go because they're like, they're kind of strict over there. So I was like, So I'm glad for me that was the last one and had so much fun. It was insane.
Yeah, they are. They're quite fun.
It's like what you can imagine if you look up the videos. It's just chaos 24/7. Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
So I'm glad you're alive.
Yeah. Me too.
So I was looking through your Instagram pictures, like your social media is amazing. I like how you're into art. It's not just like one thing, like look how much I'm lifting, how much I'm eating. So you're into art. You're showing a lot of your boy Julian Durek.
I really like Julian's stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like kind of finding my niche, I guess, on Instagram like a few years ago or a year ago, and I really do like the art. I just stopped posting it as much because the space starts to add up where you got like so much art on there and not enough of like the other things. And it's really
definitely
what your viewers are commenting on and like looking at and like getting your most engagement in, right? But yeah, Julian's art is great. It's like is definitely one of my favorite artists.
Oh, definitely. And I like that you have a thing, like your thing is fitness, but you're like, hey, like I'm into this motivation, I'm into this art, you know?
Well,
Like for Taryn and I, it's a little weird because it's like, oh, we're having this guy on. So we're having this guy on. It's like so different. It's impossible to market. We kind of do it more for the love because it's like, until we're a thing, it's just like, how do we market what we even are? Because we're just talking to so many different people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So for me, I really feel like basically my thing with the art and all that other stuff is it's all art. Everything we're doing is some semblance of art and creation, right? So the whole point behind like doing anything in life is creating. And the more you create and the more you provide for people, then the better you're doing, right? And I think that art itself, like painted art or, you know, printed art or any art of any form is fabulous because you spend your time creating something for people to view, just like bodybuilding. And then they get some, you know, excitement out of it or some enjoyment, or it provokes a feeling or emotion. So that's was my original like love with bodybuilding, is that, you know, gymnastics is like a performing art, right? But gymnastics was so crazy and so difficult to do that I didn't actually love it that much. I was just kind of good at it and people wanted me to do it. So I did it. So I pushed through that for like 18 years. And then I was like, you know, I really kind of enjoy doing other things. Like, I don't know why I did this for so long.
Wow.
And then I found bodybuilding, and that was like, you know, it's a way to express yourself. And now I'm still doing the bodybuilding a lot, but I'm also finding that like business is an art as well. So you can create proper business for people that provide some service or something that helps them, right? And then the more you help people and the more you do for people, the more you kind of give back. And then, you know, that's what it's all about for me.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I like where you're going with that. Like you're on the more of the like, what can I help with side instead of like, where can I make money out of, you know, my fame, my current fame.
Well, if you produce a service or you produce something that's like actually viable, like the most success will come. Like the point is that like you're doing something for people. You can produce, you know, crappy products or crappy, you know, service as well, but like that's always for a quick buck and it's short lived. But, you know, if you produce something actually viable and something that people need, then you there's no way you're not going to make money.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And back to the business side, how in the world are you fitting into suits? Are these custom suits?
Yeah. So I'm also a student at Santa Clara here. Doing MBA, but I took this quarter off because I have some serious life events going on at the moment that I am not entirely sure what time I need to allot. So I took it off just in case. But yeah, so I do have a few suits that I've tailored over the last like 4 years, and they're all for different physiques that I have. When I'm heavier, I have a suit. When I'm like leaned out and lighter, I have a suit. And so I have like 6 different suits with different physiques.
Wow, that's crazy. I recently experienced this because I'm short. I'm like 5'7". I was 130 before I started working out a couple months ago. So now I'm up to like, you know, 165. I had to throw away 4 suits, you know, because like they fit well at 130, but I could not wear them at 160. So I have to buy all new shorts, all new suits, like everything. I did not expect that to happen at all.
I went through that too, for sure.
And would you say you're mostly ready? Like I've been watching a few like Netflix documentaries, like and if someone calls you like, boom, we need you to shoot tomorrow. Are you prepared? You're always prepared?
Well, I generally like sit at a leaner body type, just naturally. So pretty much, like directly after Coachella, I wouldn't feel, you know, the most fabulous doing
of course.
Shoot. You know, give me like 3 days from now and I feel a lot better, right? Yeah, so pretty much I'm ready to shoot at all times just because I was a skinny kid when I was growing up. So like unless I'm eating a copious amount, I'm not gaining weight. But yeah, so I'm pretty much ready all the time. I try and stay close to stage ready, just because that's like my body type.
Oh, definitely. And what's your height at? You seem pretty tall just from looking.
Yeah, so I'm at 5'11".
Yeah,
and I'm weighing before I went to Coachella, I weighed like 207 pounds in the morning. I was looking pretty good. I was really liking the way I was looking. Now I'm weighing about 202 pounds in the morning. Not looking bad, but definitely not as full as I was.
Yeah, wow. God, that's so crazy for me to think of. That's a whole lot of weight.
Yeah,
But so shredded too, which is like really insane to me because like on my little like stupid journey, like I'm like, oh, so much like body fat is coming with not so much,
yeah,
but like I'm
but a
definitely
lot. It
not
comes with
shredded.
it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like from what I hear, it's like you really shouldn't be gaining that much body fat. So maybe I'm like not eating the most lean of meats or something like that. Or
So
is it that it's bulk and cut?
So the thing with the gaining weight is like you want to eat. So everyone's different, right? And their metabolism is different. Your body processes things differently, and it just kind of depends at what phase your metabolism is in. But if you're eating above your calorie use during the day, right? So if you're eating slightly above, then you're at a bulk. No matter what, you're at a bulk. It might be like a 1%, 2%, 5%, 10%, 20%, whatever it is. You're at a bulk. And if you're eating that way consistently without kind of dipping below it, then you're going to gain weight, right? And it might be muscle mass. If you're eating the right amount, then you can grow enough muscle mass to cover that as you move. Or if you're eating over that, then you're going to be gaining some fat mass. So a good way to stop doing that is to do like a carb cycle where your calories are up for a few days and then you pull them just below. So you do like a 5% above, and then a 5% below for a day or two, and then repeat. And that should provide you with enough substrate to grow muscle mass and not acquire fat mass. Another thing that's really important is nutrient timing, right? So if you're timing your nutrients appropriately, it's going to be more readily used. If you're eating, so like in the morning, your nutrients are higher uptake. So eating in the morning is really important.
Yeah.
And then also post-workout, right? So if you're timing your stuff around your workout, you're utilizing the fuel that you're providing as best you can, then you're going to be doing better off.
And what's that post-workout window, would you say? Because there's a lot of like misconceptions, I would say, about that.
So if you're going to eat like a whey protein and a carb source or just a whey protein, your post-workout window is like 0 to 30 minutes. Now, if you're going to eat real food, which is also totally fine, your post-workout window is 0 to an hour. If you miss that window, it's not the end of the world, but those are your times where you're going to try and get the most benefit from your food.
Oh, definitely. And that seems to be across the board what everyone's saying. I don't know how you feel about Rich Piana, but I know it's like, a trigger word for some people. Some people are like, oh my God. But I like to watch these guys just for like some training tips, maybe a little nutrition. Like obviously they're doing other things, but the training still needs to happen. So he was saying, wake up BCAAs in the morning, protein in the morning. You're done with your workout, protein, BCAAs, like kind of always get the BCAAs in. But real food is the main objective. And I'm like, that makes sense. But my girlfriend's dad, who's an athletic trainer, sees me watching these videos and he's like, oh my God, that guy's crazy. And I'm just like, I'm not following his plan specifically, but he has he still has to do the work, And go ahead.
Everyone's different too, right? Rich Piana has his market and he's, doing what he does and he's huge in his tattoos and stuff. So like, he still has viable information for everyone, right? It's just like you kind of have to look past like what his shell looks like because he did do a lot of the bodybuilding for a long time. He really does know some of his stuff, right? So he's right about the BCAAs. You want to if you're at any lapse in food, BCAAs are going to help a lot. Also, if you're trying to gain weight like me and gain muscle mass and hardness, then like BCAAs consistently throughout the day or EAs are really, really beneficial, right? Like I've seen some diets where you're waking up, you're eating breakfast, and then you're waiting 2.5 hours or 3 hours to eat again. But in between that, you're taking BCAAs. So every 50 minutes, you're drinking 8 ounces of BCAAs and then returning to your meal. And then between that and 50 minutes, you're drinking your BCAAs. And these are programs for like intense bodybuilders that are really trying to fill out that last bit of muscle mass. So you're really not trying to lose anything in between meals. Now that stuff's intense, and if you want to try it, to try it for your body and see how it goes, right? But the average person trying to gain weight or muscle mass doesn't necessarily need to do something like that.
Okay. Yeah, just eat food, train hard.
Yeah, eat food, train hard, eat consistently, eat clean. Try and figure out what your calorie intake looks like and what's best for you, so that you can kind of gauge if I'm above, below, or right on point. And then, so sometimes, especially with the information we have, eating is not so intuitive, right? There's a lot of misinformation out there.
No, yeah, it's been hard, like, especially for me, like, they would say I'm a hard gainer, which I don't know if that's true. Like, you just need to eat more. But when I cut carbs, like, dramatically, I can wake up with, like, way more defined abs, like, after a day. And I'm like, that's insane to me.
Yeah.
You know? Cut maybe 100 grams of carbs and I wake up way more shredded.
Yeah.
But shredded and putting on mass don't really go hand in hand. But somehow you guys manage to do that. You know, it's that fine tuning, I guess.
Yeah. So for us, the reason why it's really fine tuning, but it's also that, like, when I was in college, I was doing athletics, right? So I'm active all day long, pretty much. And I was like skinny, but not that much muscle mass, right? I had abs that looked good for like the average person, but that was mostly just activity level, like purely activity level. My diet was trash. I ate, really not great foods.
As a gymnast?
Yeah, as a gymnast.
Okay.
No nutrient timing, no nothing.
Yeah,
If I would have known more about what I know now when I was training, I would have done a lot better as an athlete. But then as soon as I kind of finished, I started, learning more. And then I ended up getting sick. So I had a bout with cancer that I went through.
I was going to bring that up. It was shocking. It was literally shocking to me when you said that.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, like, if there's any example of overcoming obstacles, this is the guy.
Yeah, so it was a great thing for me, actually. I think it's rough to go through, but it taught me so much, so I would never take it away.
Yeah.
Really gave me a lot of like insight into the world, into life, into myself. But basically during that time, I really learned how to eat right. And the cancer that I had was exposure based, so it's basically due to pesticides.
What?
The pesticides were in food, right?
Oh, God.
My horrible diet in college and my active lifestyle kind of made me more susceptible to this, right?
Like you're saying maybe processed foods or like even vegetables?
No, any food, man.
Yeah.
Anything that's not organic, vegetables, meats, anything. Like with stuff like Monsanto around. Monsanto is a large seed company, but they were basically producing a lot of crop, and there's a lot that goes behind Monsanto, so you'd have to check it out if you wanted to learn more about it. But basically, they're producing crops that are pesticides and or spraying their crops with massive amount of pesticides. Those pesticides would get into corn and then go from corn to cows and then from cows to humans. And there was claims by them that, hey, no, this didn't happen. And then, you really get trickle down effect where people start doing research and find out actually there's, pesticides in people's urine, and like they said this shouldn't happen.
Gosh.
But so if you're not eating organic foods, and even organic foods sometimes, you got to make sure you know where they're coming from, but you really want to do your due diligence and try and do your best and eat organic.
God, so do you think that could be the case even with grass-fed beef? That's not like corn-fed?
Yeah, so it potentially could if it's not organic. You really don't know where it's coming from. Meat itself and beef and stuff is like really not the greatest for human health, but like I eat meat, and it's necessary if you're going to try and, well, maybe not necessary because there's a lot of vegan bodybuilders.
Right, I see that too, and I'm just like, how in the world? Like, I don't get it, Like, I need some meat, but maybe that's not true. I just feel like I need meat. I feel different when I have meat.
Yeah. I definitely actually do too. I feel different in a bad way, actually. I feel much better not eating meat, to be honest, but lose a little bit of weight.
Right. Yeah. That'd be the trade-off. Yeah.
Yeah, that's most definitely the trade-off. Like you get a lot leaner and you drop weight, especially if you're a hard gainer.
Yeah.
But basically, during that time, I learned a lot about food. I started eating more properly. And then when I came back to I was bodybuilding the whole time I was doing it. I was going backwards. But then when I started finished treatment and started bodybuilding and moving forwards, I really kind of hit my stride because like I knew what I was doing a little bit more. I got a coach that could help guide me, and I really started learning a lot about food.
Oh, wow. And are we talking chemo, all that stuff?
Yeah, so not Team
Oh.
O, but I'm with Ariel. Ariel is Coach Cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cuts on Instagram. He's a great dude. He really knows his stuff. He's like very family oriented. I really like the network he's created.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's quite the story you got there. I'm going to change it up a little bit. How do you feel about CrossFit?
CrossFit? So
yeah.
CrossFit is interesting. I think that it's, it's something to do, right? Like teach their own, whatever you like doing, you do, right? I was, told when I was graduating school to do CrossFit because I was really good at doing like the circuits that we had. I held the record for all the circuits that we did in gymnastics, which are essentially CrossFit like.
Yeah.
But I just don't like that type of athletics, right? Like that type of athletics is just like sheer push till the end. And for what? It's like so that you can be like, I'm better than you by like a millisecond at doing these 20 things, So for me, it's not as useful to humans as bodybuilding is, because bodybuilding can evoke emotion and is an art and has a bunch of passion behind it. Whereas to me, CrossFit is just like just go as hard as you can.
Yeah, balls to the wall.
But if you like it and it gets your workout in, and that's the one thing it is really fabulous for, is that people can program hour-long workouts and people can go do them and get them done and get their exercise and training in.
I hear that.
Body look good, yeah.
Yeah. It's from what I hear from people, it's just a little rough at the pace they're going, with the weight, with bodybuilding, it's more like, let me concentrate on this, to build this up. It's more full body. It's more, full exertion. It's a little bit much maybe, but hey, if you're willing to deal with the injuries and you love it, like, who am I to say it's not good? But that's coming from someone. I was going to ask you about this. Like, my grip strength isn't good. So on deadlifts, like, I tried straps, but they seem to cut into my wrist so much that I found like they're hooks. They're like metal hooks.
Yes.
How do you feel about those? Am I a total bitch by using them?
No. You can use whatever you.
Don't lie to me.
No, the point of straps are so that you can increase the weight that you're pulling or pushing or what have you. Mostly pulling, so that you can engage your lats to their full extent rather than being fatigued on your forearms or your wrists, right?
Yeah, my hand was opening up like early. Like I would say on a deadlift, maybe 160 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like early.
Yeah. So they serve a purpose, right? And it's so for me, for bodybuilding and stuff, like you can't get optimal lat contraction if your forearms are dead.
Yeah.
Right. So you're doing lat pull downs, you kind of need straps to finish that last few sets and to go up to that extra weight. So I'm all for it, straps, hooks, or anything, right? It's just like what you do want to do though is you want to start without them, I guess, if you want to, but starting without them allows you to build some forearm strength. And then I train forearms outside of that as well, because my forearms are stubborn, man. They don't really grow as much as I'd like, and I really like the aesthetic of larger forearms.
Definitely.
So I train forearms like twice a week on top of, all my lifts.
Oh, perfect. I feel like I have kind of an advantage there because I've been like a tool guy, a mechanic forever. So my forearms are good, but then my biceps go small, so I kind of got to like reverse that trend,
Yeah.
Super weird. Okay, how do you feel about, like, I'm only squatting like 275, and is it a total bitch thing to wear a weight belt at that weight? Okay.
I wear a weight belt all the time, no matter what, right? Like, it helps you keep your taper. It helps you keep your back stable. Now, you definitely want to make sure you're keeping your core strength up, right? If you're not doing core exercises and stuff, then wearing a belt will take away from your ability to stabilize your own core, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, squatting is a dangerous thing sometimes, like you have to be careful of your spine. You have to be careful of your coccyx and your tailbone and stuff. So I think that you should be wearing a belt. Yeah.
Okay, good. I like that. I have like the lever kind, so when I'm done, I'm like, and I let it loose, so I'm like, I don't know if that's okay. So I'm glad to hear that. So we're just about done here. You're a car guy yourself?
I am.
I saw your R.I.P. Paul Walker, and we'll go ahead and shout him out.
Yeah.
He did a lot for the culture.
He did.
Are you still driving the SI?
No, Sara drives the SI, and now I drive a CLA.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Perfect. How do you like it?
I like it. It's a sweet ride. It's nice for just, cruising around. It's not manual, and I kind of like sometimes that I don't have manual, but I do enjoy the manual transmission. So sometimes I go back and drive the Civic. The last few weeks I've been driving the Civic here and there because I do like to have control of the vehicle.
Oh, definitely.
But the next car that I go with will most definitely be a manual transmission.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you drive the SI, you just burn out the clutch and then blame it on her.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and I'm not sure that we shouted out you being a Myoblox athlete.
Oh, yeah, not yet. Yes,
okay.
I'm a Myoblox athlete as well.
And your hometown gym?
Is WestCA.
WestCA. Okay, I have it as WestCA, but WestCA, West Coast Aesthetics.
West Coast Aesthetics, yeah.
Okay, it's, perfect.
Tori Woodward's gym.
We'll put it all down here on the video.
Awesome.
Glad to have you on, Brody.
Yes.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend, man.
Yeah, you too, man.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
All right, that was Brody Shemansky. Super beast. Go look him up on Instagram. Bad Broski. I'm going to get him to kind of get into that Bradley Martin thing. Get some content out there because him and Sara killing the game. Killing the game. Maybe we could get Taryn and Sara to talk about the whole booty building thing or the, women's fitness stuff. Really smart guy as well. As we talked about, cancer survivor, totally insane. Hope you got, I might have this out Saturday morning, so hope you guys are enjoying the weekend. This has been the Ian, not Taryn podcast. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
You've been listening to the Ian and Taryn Podcast. See you next week.
Goodbye.